Okay, so today I'm going to be breaking down the strategy behind the 7 and 9 figure brands that are using to print cash in 2026. Now, nowadays, most brands, they don't have an email problem. What it boils down to is they usually have a segmentation problem. Okay, so they keep sending more emails, more campaigns, which just equals to more noise. And then they wonder why deliverability drops, revenue stalls, and then Klaviyo gets more expensive every single month. Today, I'm going to show you the segmentation system, 7, 8, and 9 figure brands that we work with that are using to actually grow email revenue in 2026. Not theory, not trends, a proven system that you can steal today. Now, why can you trust me? On the topic of working with 7 and 8 and 9 figure brands, I've got an example of a 7+ figure brand here that we have on email marketing. They did over 3.61 million, and the exact system that I'm going to teach you today, we did this with this brand and they used it, and then that's what we've been using in our campaign structure as well as our flows. So if you didn't know, I'm Daniel. I'm head of retention at Hayes Media, and like I mentioned, we scale 7 and 8, 9 figure brands with retention and marketing. You can see some examples of the brands that we work with here, some amazing testimonials, and some information on the services that we offer specifically around retention marketing. You can check email and SMS here. The objective and goal we always have is to increase and improve LTV, which is lifetime value of our brand's customers. We have case studies as well showing us how we did that for our brands that we work with. An example here is Remy. I've spoken about Remy in previous videos. They've been with us since day one, 5+ years, working with this one brand, and we just keep on growing. It's amazing work. We love what we do here. So at the moment, we're giving away complimentary retention audits. What they will do is they will spot money leaks in your retention marketing system, and we will present opportunities to you free of charge that you could take away today and implement in your business. It's, again, no obligation. It's there to just offer you as much value as possible. So go ahead, click in the bio. There's a link to book a call, or you can head over to hayesmedia.co and click book a time to chat today. Okay, so by the end of this video, you will have the complete segmentation framework, a list cleaning strategy, and a technical walkthrough with step-by-step implementation that you can use to deploy into your Klaviyo account or your ESP, chosen ESP, maybe it's Omnisend or SendLane or something on those lines, and you can implement it today. Okay, so let's move on to step one. What is LTV? I just spoke a little bit about this. This is the main metric that we measure alongside other metrics, but this is the most important thing that we measure with retention marketing. So what is it and why does it matter? Lifetime value is the total revenue a single customer generates over their entire relationship with your brand. So why does it matter? Now, as someone who's worked on ads as well as retention, I know that a lot of brands with their ads, they are noticing that acquisition costs are getting higher and higher each year, sometimes to the point where a lot of brands are either breaking even on the first purchase or actually losing money to acquire customers. Second of all, a customer who buys 3 times is worth more than 3 customers who buy just once, all right? And third of all, email, SMS is your best tool. Really, nowadays, it's the foundational tool to help increase LTV, but only if you treat customers differently. Now, the shift, this is the most important mindset shift and paradigm shift that I want you guys to adopt now, essentially, right? Big e-commerce brands are top 7, 8, 9 figure brands that are sticking around, that have built their moat, they've been here around 5-10 years. They aren't just trying to convert with emails anymore. They're building retention systems that maximize how much each subscriber is worth over time. So let's do some simple maths, okay? And let's keep it super simple, right? So 10,000 subscribers with $50, £50, right? If we're speaking English, is the average order, times 1 purchase is $500,000, okay? So traditional approach, this is where we have 10,000 subscribers that each individual person has made 1 purchase. Okay, average order value is at $50. 1 purchase equals 500,000. All right. If you take the LTV driven approach, you take the same 10,000 subscribers, multiply that by a $50 average order value, but times that by 3 purchases, you've already made triple the amount. Okay, it's the same list, it's 3x the revenue. That is the LTV game as simplified as possible. Okay, and we've got a little meme here. Brand owner, full list, promo blast, and LTV driven segmentation strategy. And really, LTV, especially with campaigns, to improve LTV with campaigns is very, very simple. It just starts with segmentation. Okay, so let's get on to basically the secret sauce. Okay. Now, the framework that we use at Hays comes down to these 4 core segments. That is it. The entire system comes down to 4 core segments. Segment 1, you have your non-buyers, right? You guys know who these are. They've subscribed, but they've never bought. And these are the cheapest conversions on your list, but most brands rush them. Okay. They need education, they need social proof, and they need trust. They need different messaging. Okay. They don't need product blasts. These guys just need to understand and see more of your brand. Segment 2 is your first time buyers. Okay. These are people who have purchased once. Okay. And they have proven intent exists here. Intentionally, they basically have already given you their money and they're most likely to give you their money again. I believe this is the most underrated segment. It will be one of your biggest segments, and it's the biggest opportunity for you to get their second purchase lies here. It lies in your first time buyers. This is where loyalty starts, and this is where LTV compounds. Now, we missed out repeat buyers here, but I'd also argue that repeat buyers, those who buy more than once, are also a very important segment to also map out. But just to keep it simple and just to start with the core segments, we've got non-buyers, we've got buyers, and then we've got your VIPs. Now, VIPs for non-subscription brands will be those that buy 3 or plus more. For subscription brands, these are obviously your subscribers, right? So these are your highest LTV customers, and these are your profit drivers. This is what keeps your business afloat, and these are your margin protectors and where your safest revenue lies. And most brands still treat them like strangers, or they treat them like these two here, the non-buyers and buyers. And that's where the mistake is basically been made, right? VIPs, they deserve early access, exclusive drops and exclusive products that's tailored just for them, and a different tone of voice because, well, they've earned it, right? Segment 4 is the unengaged segment. Okay. I know you guys understand and know what the unengaged segment is, but essentially they are the people who haven't clicked, haven't opened, and haven't purchased in 60 to 90 days. Usually after 60 days, if no one has made a second purchase, they've already forgotten about your brand and they're moving on to somebody else. So if they haven't clicked or opened your emails, likelihood is they've forgotten about your brand and they are no longer interested. That's fine. That is fine. But it's important that we know that these guys exist and how to treat them, okay? Because right now, if you are emailing these guys, messaging them, they're likely hurting you, right? They're dragging deliverability down, which affects your sender reputation, which means you might end up in spam, worst case scenario. They also inflate your Klaviyo bill. Like we have one client that we work with that essentially when we first started with them, 30% of their email revenue that was coming in, they were spending on their Klaviyo bill. It was insane. Their Klaviyo bill was so high because they had a list of what Klaviyo thought were active profiles and they were paying for it. Turns out that actually 20% of those active profiles weren't even engaging with the emails, right? So their Klaviyo bill was so high, it was 30% of their total email revenue. We managed to, after 1 year of slowly working through the list and making sure that we're only only emailing engaged subscribers. It's not something you just do straight away because there's a strategy behind how you re-engage as well. But over time, we were able to scale that down to 4% on average, right? Your Klaviyo bill really should be under 5% of your total email revenue. If it's anything higher than that, you're just burning money. You're just paying Klaviyo. I don't know how else. It's brutal. I know it's brutal. And a lot of brands out there are overpaying for their Klaviyo bill. So I completely understand. And if that is something that you are struggling with, I can do a whole video on that. Just comment below. But yeah, this is important to know. That's why we put it here. In this case, with this segment, you don't need more emails. You usually just need fewer bad profiles, and that will help with your Klaviyo bill as well. So take a screenshot of this, and then we'll move on to how to build the non-buy segment. So very simply, if in Klaviyo, you will have segment definition is placed order equals 0 over time. These profiles needing education, social proof, and first-time incentives. Don't treat them like customers yet. They haven't bought anything. Focus on building trust, demonstrating value, and overcoming purchase hesitation with strategic messaging. So you can add one onto this if you wanted to have non-buyers segment. You can have a non-buyers engaged segment. So it's anyone who has opened or clicked your email in the last 30 to 60 days. If you add this onto it, it makes sure it will narrow down the list, but it makes sure that you're only emailing engaged subscribers. That's your non-buyer segment. Let's move on to the buyer segment. So place an order exactly one over time. This is your second purchase segment. They bought once. Now it's time to encourage them to buy again. With this segment and these campaigns that you want to be sending out are different than your non-buyers. This is very important. Don't be sending always the same emails to your non-buyers, to your buyers, to your VIPs. Let's talk. You have to talk to these people very differently. Okay. So what do you send to the buyer segment? You send cross sells, personalized cross sells based on what they previously bought. Okay. Replenishment reminders. So if it's a product that's like a consumable product, you send them reminders like, hey, it's the start of January. Do you want to, re-up? Or sorry, I don't know how you say re-up, or do you want to add more to your skincare routine or your routine? It could be whatever the routine is. If it's consumable, if it's a healthy nut bar, do you want to add something to your healthy snacking routine to start 2026? You need to be thinking about how we can use the replenishment to just remind them that, hey, you might need more of the thing that we sell. So loyalty focused angles, very simply, essentially things that show them like, hey, we really appreciate you buying from us. Here is a thank you. And this is where you can have an exclusive offer for them, exclusive flash sale. If you wanted to go loyalty focus angle that's more social proof driven, it's more review testimonial driven, you can show testimonials where people have bought again and left a testimonial. Right? So, hey, customers just like you decided to try us again for one more time, and here's what they said. And then you have a list of testimonials, similar than you would do for your non-buyer segment, but it's specifically talking about those who bought again. Now, this is the thing. You got to think very differently. Imagine if you just bought for the first time, what emails would you like to receive? And I think if you ask yourself those questions, you can come up with some really cool ideas. Now, for the third segment, the VIP segment, again, very different than your non-customers and your buyers segment, okay? To create these guys, you place order at least 3 over time. Could be 4, depending on your AOV. And then also, if you're a subscription product, these are obviously someone who has an active subscription, whether it's in Recharge or Smarter. You make sure that you define it by they have an current active subscription in your account. So with these guys, yeah, they're your golden geese with the highest LTV, and they're going to drive you sustainable revenue. So here you treat them like a VIP. Very important. Give them early access. If you have a new product coming out, give them early access. If you have a sale coming out, give them early access. If you have, maybe some delivery slots have opened up for faster delivery, give them early access. If you had a product that was out of stock and now it's in stock, give them early access. If you have a new product and you want to make it exclusive for VIPs for the first month, give them that exclusivity, right? If you have a new feature coming out, like a loyalty program, okay, give them access before anybody else. Ask for beta testers. If you have a referral program, right, for brand ambassadors, I see a lot of brands using brand ambassadors now. Create a brand ambassador program where you have a refer a friend, right? And only VIPs can sign up for it. If you have a Discord community where you can talk to these people, invite them to it, okay? And only give it to VIPs, right? And then we talk about loyalty rewards. That's a whole different topic. Building a loyalty program takes time, especially a good one. I have videos. Go check out the Nike audit. They have a really good membership program that you could model off. But essentially, a loyalty program is perfect for your VIP segment. Don't blast them. This is one important thing. And one mistake I see is that brands will blast VIPs with the same discount emails you send non-buyers, right? So make sure you're excluding these guys from your standard catch-all sale campaigns. Unless it's a big sale, you want to be excluding your VIPs. You only want to be emailing them when it's this, right? You only want to be emailing them when it's these 3-4 things. If you're giving them like, hey, we're having a Valentine's Day sale, now we're having a Veteran Day sale, now we're having a International Women's Day sale, now we're having a summer sale, and you're emailing your VIPs with all this malarkey, as we say in English slang, honestly, they're going to unsubscribe. And even worse, they may even just report you to spam, which we don't want, right? These guys, they deserve premium treatment and exclusive experiences. So please start to give them that. And if you can't, then you could book a call and we'll do it for you. Anyway, so How to build the unengaged profile segment. All right. So this is very foundational. It might change for different brands, but the normal definition is has opened an email 0 times in the last 90 days, has clicked an email 0 times in the last 90 days, and has placed an order 0 times in the last 90 days. These profiles are hurting your deliverability and they will inflate your Klaviyo bill. So what you want to do first is you want to run a sunset flow. Okay, and if you haven't already got a flow, an automation live, what you can do is you can actually create 2 to 3 re-engagement campaigns and then turn that into a flow. And essentially, this is a simple plain text asking them like, hey, do you want to still receive emails from us? Again, I could do a whole video on good examples, but just as a basic strategy, you need to be sending these guys re-engagement emails. And then once you've done that, suppress or delete them. And if it's in a flow, you can have them automatically suppressed. You can put a split at the end that automatically suppresses the profiles and then deletes them. That way your Klaviyo bill is not going over, the threshold that it needs to. So let's beat a dead horse a little bit, because I know Klaviyo bills are top of people's minds, especially post Black Friday, where everyone has a bigger list than they usually had. So what is the list hygiene system that we use to cut your Klaviyo bill? So first of all is to review unengaged segment size. Okay. So audit monthly to identify profiles that are dragging down performance. Number 2 is to run a sunset or win back flow. So they're actually different flows. Okay. Sunset and win back are different flows. Very important, but essentially these 2 flows are the ones that are going to be more on the re-engagement side. So 2 to 3 strategic re-engagement emails with clear value propositions. Number 3, after you've done that, is to suppress the non-responders and make sure you're not emailing them. And then 4 is monitor open rates and click-through rates as well, obviously by segment. So track performance metrics to ensure ongoing list health. If you do these 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in order, you should have the optimal Klaviyo build for your account. I know why people really want to do this and the wins, so I don't need to express it too much. But essentially, the 3 main improvements are better deliverability, which means you get better open click-through rates, which means you're likely to land in the primary tab. The lower costs, Klaviyo essentially won't charge you for profiles that you aren't emailing. And then again, like I mentioned, you have the improved metrics like CTRs and open rates go up. Okay, so lastly, the segmentation blueprint. Just to summarize, you have your non-buyers, never purchased, educate and convert to first sale. Buyers, purchase 1 times, drive repeat purchase, start building that LTV, start compounding it, and move them over to VIPs where they buy 3 or plus times, or they are subscribers, where they get exclusive treatment and you maximize the lifetime value. Unengaged, you turn them into a sunset, win back, re-engagement sequence. If they don't open, they don't click, you suppress them. And then when you suppress them, you're cleaning your list, which will cut your bill and boost the deliverability. And the key takeaway is that the email marketers and marketers in all over, whether it's Facebook, Meta, Google, TikTok, whatever, they're not doing it by creating more stuff and sending more and more things out. They're segmenting, targeting, right? Whereas a target persona, they're targeting and segmenting better and smarter. Following this video, this is how you join them. Now, if you really want to join them and you want to do it in a hassle-free and easy way, now this is where Haze comes in, right? And if your email revenue feels a little bit capped or needs a refresh, this is usually why. It's not volume. It's not that you're not creative enough, and it's not frequency, okay? It's usually structure. If you want us to come in and audit your segmentation, right, and show you exactly where your revenue is leaking, we do, like I said, complimentary retention audits for brands that we are fit for. The links are below. And if not, take this system and implement it, because this is how serious 7, 8, 9-figure brands run email now. See you in the next one.